Acquisitions. So you guys recently acquired a travel company. You've made some other acquisitions since then. You guys are in acquisitive mode, or are you still in acquisitive mode, or you were in a acquisitive mode and now you're calming down? What's happening?
So I just mentioned to you, Ghana and Colombia was all acquisitions.
Right.
So once the deal is right, what I mean, once the deal makes sense, yeah. So I mean, you mentioned Travel. I think that was in the papers. That's essentially, you know, because we have the ability to make payments online for people who can't make payments online. We wanted to be able for the Caribbean people who may not have USD availability, people who may not have credit cards, debit cards, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
allow them to travel, allow them to, buy a plane ticket, or someone like yourself who may have 7 credit cards. You pretty much might prefer to buy your plane ticket and your hotel room with your links card, so you save that USD balance. So we saw this opportunity, but trying to partner with Expedia, one of those companies, it wasn't something that we were, having headways on. I mean, they weren't going to put WePay on their checkout box.
Right.
And what we found out is most of these travel companies, or they buy these hotel rooms from a bulk trader. Expedia buys from a bulk trader. Travelocity buys from a bulk trader.
Mm-hmm.
So we found this company that have that arrangement with a bulk trader. So instead of trying to now have this relationship with the bulk trader, just buy the company, and now we have the ability to sell you tickets at the same price or even cheaper than Expedia. It's a lot cheaper, right? We're going to launch it next week when we launch the new version of Color. But now, and it's going to be called WeTravel.
I like it.
All right.
Okay.
Right. You can check it out. WeTravel.app. Right. That's a place you can check it out. But it's going to be integrated within the app, so you don't even need to go to that URL. But essentially now, that acquisition gives us the ability to now provide value to the Caribbean in terms of travel and hotels with your local currency and still at a better price than Expedia because we're buying from the same wholesaler. But instead of saying we want to make 5% or 4% profit, we'll take 3% because we're here to provide a solution that brings value to our segment, which is that unbanked, underbanked, up and coming. So, it was costly,
Mm.
but we believe in the long run, as a society in the Caribbean, we're all going to benefit from it. So
Okay.
that's one we're pretty proud of
And
because it was actually a bidding war
it was a bidding
at
one.
that point.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can
it
imagine.
was a bidding war.
And I
It
know
was a bidding.
you also acquired a microfinance company. Um,
Yeah. So I mean, I think you're talking about in Jamaica. We acquired equity
mhm.
shares
Okay.
in a microfinance company that would allow us to do a couple of things well in Jamaica. Money Masters. It would allow us to do. They have a cambio license. They have
Mm.
investment license. They have loans, microloans. So in Jamaica, within our Color app, we are very excited that acquisition or investment, I should say, that we'll now be able to bring these things to our customers right within the app. Getting a loan, being able to invest in the stock market, being able to convert, your Jamaican dollars into USD because that's a floating market over there, and buying and selling currency and that arbitrage is big business. The average man in the street could get involved with it because we now will integrate Money Master's solution within our app. So yeah, again, acquisition that would drive, a new revenue stream within the business.
How do you price these? And I asked this question when I was interviewing Nicholas Reese from Canoe just some weeks ago. How do you price your acquisition? How do you determine the valuation at which you're willing to pay for these acquisitions?
So yeah, I mean, I could give you the nice technical jargon where we look at the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
right? We look at the revenue, we put a multiplier to it, understand the market growth, and say, okay, based on what we project or what you project to earn, we'll do a percentage of that. But I can tell you, for me, really and truly, it's how do I see this particular business adding value to our overall ecosystem? So sometimes I may spend more than I should, which I believe we did with the travel company. But I believe, yeah, we bought that one 100%. We left nothing on the table.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, but I understand what the value of travel is. I travel like every week, and I'm saying, listen, you know what? When I look at our expense or travel expense, I could cut back 10, 15%. So if I could do that across the board, not only from our B2C solution, which is what we want to provide to customers, but a lot of our B2B companies, we can now offer them, services where, we save them not only on Forex, but on the cost of their travel, the cost of their staff and their team and their management team, their travel, not only with air travel, but accommodations as well. There's a lot of things. World Cup coming next year in the US, 2026. Sorry. I mean, a lot of people want to go to the US to watch, the FIFA World Cup.
Right.
We have Olympics coming up after that. There are people who travel from the US to the Caribbean. We are a tourist destination. So, for an American company, and they're looking at sales for travel around the world. But for a Caribbean company looking at this destination locations in the Caribbean, it could be beneficial. So for me, I looked at the numbers. I'm like, okay, your model might be wrong. I'm gonna stick with the niche in the Caribbean. And I run those numbers, and for me, that made a lot of sense comparing to what your numbers when you're trying to compete against a Expedia on a global scale. Of course, you're not going to win. You don't have that marketing reach. But me in the Caribbean, my built-in customer base and our local branding, I think we could be the number one travel app for this region, and not only benefit from the revenue from travel sales and hotel sales, but be in the processor as WiPay on the back end. So we get two bites of the cherry. And my decisions where investment is concerned, I have my financial team that would evaluate, hey, this is a good deal or a bad deal. I'm going back to that travel out deal because they said, hey, let's cap it here. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna spend a little bit more because I want to win. And that decision wasn't based just on the numbers. It's based on what I believe the market is going to trend into. Again, I follow a lot of Elon Musk philosophies, and sometimes it's a